Welcome back. Today, one of the last main things we need to add to the AES before we go through and tidy it all up is we need to add the ability for presets. So I don't know that much about using them. I know how in theory they work, but before we dive in and start implementing it into the AES, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at them in a separate way, because I need to understand how it works. Presets in the way is basically we want to be able to store our configuration. So if we have one enabled, turned up, sitting somewhere, volumes for etc. Basically we want to store all of the values inside our effects windows at any time, including the effects that are loaded into them, which is a bit more complicated. That may be something that has to come a bit later. So for now we'll start with storing the effects parameters, and then we'll look at whether we can do it with the parameters loaded or not. So I'm going to close that. So looking at the preset object, how to store and recall settings. Preset store and recall parameters of any specified user interface object at the click of a mouse. It can also be used as a user interface linked to the named pattern store object. If you only connect the first outlet of a preset to one or more of the objects, if you connect the first outlet of the preset to one or more objects, only those object settings are stored. Yeah, so basically you can see that it has to be connected for it to be stored. Save with a dialog window, right. Oh, so you can externally save them and pass them around. That's quite cool. Read max example. Save preset in Patcher. That's quite cool. We have lots of different dials. Pattern store. The preset object can be used as a user interface link to a named pattern storage object. Links to one. Oh, so this is so pattern store is a way for storing values in a patch. So I'm just trying to understand what the difference between this and the pattern storage is. I'm just trying to remember. Max has a wide variety of objects for storing and managing data. Objects such as table, fun, buff, call, umenu, all store information that you can set manually or via a mechanism within the patch itself. The preset object, which also stores data, is useful for capturing and recalling the states of user interface objects within the patcher, given the ability to rapidly restore settings to multiple parts of your patch in one step. So, often in a project, Max will require a more sophisticated state management system than a basic data structure object allows for. So the pattern is basically, it's more of a storage system, like you would have Windows Explorer in Windows, where at any point in Max you can go and query, get, or set a value. What I think we might actually be able to get away with using is the just the preset option. Not 100% sure, but I think it should work for us. So the way it basically works is that, so you can see this has the name tempo number, and in here script name tempo number. I would have thought that tempo number, oh, my name is tempo number, but it's clearly speed is what's being put in there. Let's follow the path. Pattern hub. And set. There you go. So that's the part that I was missing there. So you can see that we instruct pattern to bind the speed command to tempo num, which is up here. So this has the scripting name tempo num, and it's told pattern storage that whatever you have as a call tempo num, bind it to a variable called speed. Okay, that does kind of make sense, but I don't think we need it to be that complicated. Preset can store and recall the parameters used of any specific specified user interface item. So how do you specify a user interface item? Shift click a circle to store, click on a circle to recall. Okay, so if we open the AES, up presentation, unlock it, and then add our preset. Let's see if it works. So I'm going to set a bunch of values. So we're probably going to hear myself via a delay now. I'm going to save that as a preset. I'm also going to save everything off as a preset as well. And we also don't want let's see if this receive works. Right, okay, so it looks like it needs to be an actual direct communication. Or a direct connection, I should say. Right, so let's have the obvious, let me turn that off. Let's have the obvious, and then enable some parameters. So now we should be hearing altered. And you can see that the volume isn't being adjusted because it's not included. Simple. I really like this. It can sometimes be really creepy. Let's see, let's turn that off again. Store preset slot. So really what you want to be able to do is I want to lock it so that there is always, it loads on a preset that you can't change. Sorry. Max MSP preset. let's add that. Right. Don't think I need the ability to interpolate between items. I don't think we need what is within the pattern storage capabilities. It would be really obvious whether we did or didn't. I think what we do want though is the ability to save this externally and then recall it every time. Include read write. So yeah, write, read. Save a file dialog window, read a dialog. That's what all these things do. Save presets within this patcher. Yes, we want that on. So we'll do load bang. Not that we want. Not that again we want. Load bang embed. Embed. One. Active color, background color, bubble size, save presets with patcher, stored color, style. So it's just a big bunch of styling options here, really. If, max MSP stop preset being writable. Stored. The word name followed by a symbol sets the ID name for the preset. The ID name allows the preset to have a unique ID so that files created for it will not read into other presets. Mouse. Recall us. See the bang listing. So I think there is a way that I could do it with commands. So I make it so that it ignores click, but then there's a button to add and remove. I guess that doesn't work in the long term because really we want users to be able to store and recall as they go. Okay, so let's have a look at how this works. Oh, of course it remembers it up here. But I imagine that the object code for the item is changing, so the preset actually isn't. Maybe we do need to pattern store it here. Interesting. Yeah, so this should remake the values, but it doesn't because the item has changed. Interesting. So I guess what we could do is, what happens if we have 10, save it, 20, save it. No, so that doesn't work. Integer of nothing, integer whatever. Okay, so there's potential that we could set messages for each that then update. So we then need to connect it on bang. Oh, it could get very complicated very quickly. I think what I might do for the basic version is I'm going to have to remove the modular part. So this is really good for the final product and what the actual musician is looking for, but as the demonstration or demonstratable educational tool, I think this is going to have to go so that the preset function works, which I think the preset is way more important at controlling the build than anything else. So I think we would need basically this. Yeah, okay, so that worked there. So it would basically just load messaged this. It doesn't actually affect any change. So I'm going to have to save this as a branch. So we will save as so this is in projects, file, save as. So AES max project, AES patchers. What we're going to call this is main patch. No mod. 24th of the 4th, 18. Save. And then in here, we add that to it. So I'm going to add this to this, and then I'm going to do open unload, don't open unload, put that to the top, put that to the bottom. I know it's all in the right place, so I'm going to check the consolidation. Yes. Open the project. Okay. And that should be it. As simple as that. The preset is working in a way that is going to do what we need at the moment. We will go through and set it all up so that we... Right, okay, so let's just clear it all. And let's start setting some presets. Oh, that doesn't look good because that means we've got multiple. I'm going to save it. I'm going to close it. I'm going to reopen it. Presentation mode. Right, okay, there's only one of everything. We don't even need to pass it a load message anymore. We can just save it as it is, and it'll stay with these. Yeah, so it'll stay with things where they were. Save it, close it, open it, or maybe not. But you get the idea. So what happens if we have two of these? Again, we ignore all the volumes. But then this one only has 4. That is, so I want to include, so I want to include this stuff. So it looks like they don't interfere with each other. So on, off, on, off, on, off. Okay, yeah, so they don't interfere with each other. Is that true? Is that what we'd want? Basically, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to think, well, could we have 4 little presets per effect and then 1 master preset for all of them? I think so. Maybe. But then I could just have, oh no, obviously not. Yeah, they must ignore each other by default. So I'm going to stop this video here, and then we will look at the storage options or the preset options a bit more, because we want to have it so that each effect has its own preset, so you can control that. And then we also want it so that there's a master preset, so you can flick through some stuff if you have global effects you want to implement.